One question as we sit here today is, why is it that the U.S. government always has money for war and bombs, but they do not have money for health care and our children?
Europeans love to hate on Americans by saying, oh, at least we have free healthcare, at least we have free education. Okay, well, you can only afford all that because us Americans are literally the ones paying for your entire fucking existence. Our American money, which should be going to Americans, but goes to you ungrateful welfare programs. We pay for the majority of your military defense through NATO.
Don't you find it concerning that every time someone posts a video about universal healthcare, the comment section is full of all of these MAGA Republicans talking about how nothing's free, somebody's got to pay for it? Well, no kidding.
Question as we sit here today is, why is it that the U.S. government always has money for war and bombs, but they do not have money for health care and our children? Yesterday, Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth sat in front of the Senate for hours and told senators that they had already spent over $36 billion on this war over the last several months, and that is the same cost that it would have cost to extend health care for millions of Americans last year when they made the choice to allow health care to lapse for tens of millions of Americans. And instead, they use that money for bombs to kill children overseas. If you don't believe that's wrong, then I don't know what's wrong with you. I want to just use my time this morning to talk about not what's wrong with the system, but to talk about the belief and imagination we have to get to where all of you are advocating for. The United States of America is the only industrialized country in the world that has failed to create a baseline universal healthcare system. It's not because it's not possible. It's not because it's not technically feasible. It's not because we can't afford it. It's because we have failed to elect officials who are willing to go 10 toes down and to fight for healthcare to make sure that every single American has access to healthcare. Now, other countries' universal healthcare systems are not perfect. I visited some of these places, and that's fine. But there is no person in this country who should go bankrupt because they can't afford to get healthcare. There is no person that should die because they're afraid to go to the emergency room. There is no person that should live in a rural and tribal community in this country who can't access basic care in their communities. That is moral depravity. Healthcare is a human right. It is the most fundamental right, like food, water, and access to dignity as a human being. Healthcare is a human right. And so I am so grateful for the work that our Progressive Caucus is doing to advocate for this being the primary piece of our platform as we move forward. Because I believe that America is truly at an inflection point. In the 1930s, after the Great Depression, during the Great Depression, the United States actually had the opportunity to adopt universal healthcare, and other countries during that time chose to do so. Now, we did some big things during that time. We passed Social Security. We created the modern labor protections that have been talked about here today. We created the precursors for many of our modern food assistance and other programs that were fully realized in the 1960s and 70s. And so what I want to say here today is bringing universal health care into the 21st century is the unfinished business of the prior generations. And I do believe that will be our business, not only in the next Congress, but when we win back the House and then we win back the presidency. Now, in the meantime, we got a lot of work to do. I am trying to do my part for New Mexico by bringing home millions of dollars for healthcare clinics through my community-funded projects. I'm working to create emergency care systems. We're funding behavioral health clinics. We're doing mobile healthcare clinics. But that is not enough, and the American people should not settle for table scraps. We need to demand healthcare for all, universal healthcare, and we need to continue to fight until it's a reality, because that is our generation's fight. So here's the thing. Corporations and hospital executives are trying to convince the American people that we can't have universal health care and we can't pass policies that will make it possible for the American people. But I just want to show you all what real leadership looks like. This is what happened in New Mexico this year. We were the only state that actually had a massive increase in enrollment in healthcare because we have leaders who believe in universal healthcare and who fought to fund programs at the state level to make sure that no New Mexican would lose their healthcare. New Mexicans also stepped up and funded food assistance. We are the first state in the country to pass universal childcare and to ensure free college for everyone. So don't let them convince you otherwise. We can do it, and New Mexico is the proof.
Europeans love to hate on Americans by saying, oh, at least we have free healthcare, at least we have free education. Okay, well, you can only afford all that because us Americans are literally the ones paying for your entire fucking existence. Our American money, which should be going to Americans, but goes to you ungrateful assholes instead, is the main reason your governments can even pretend to be so generous with all your welfare programs. We pay for the majority of your military defense through NATO, so you can spend your budgets on welfare instead of weapons. We guard your trade routes with our military so your economies don't collapse. We subsidize the global systems that your little countries rely on just to function. Oh, and we literally rebuilt Europe with American money after World War II. If the United States pulled out of Europe tomorrow, you wouldn't have free healthcare, you wouldn't have free education, and you probably wouldn't even...
Magas will always have a reason. They will always have something to say in order to back up their claims. They will always have a reason to support Donald Trump no matter what happens or no matter what goes wrong in America. Many Americans are crying out loud at the moment that accessing healthcare is very expensive when you compare to that of Europe. That at the moment, Europe is quite affordable for you to have your treatment done, for you to access a healthcare. It is very, very easy for you to do that in Europe more than that of America. That America is way higher. But now a Trump voter is trying to let us to know that they are the ones funding the free healthcare in Europe and also protecting their base on war. That if America pulls out from Europe anytime soon, they will not be able to have that free access to healthcare. And I'm asking you, young man, since you can provide accessible healthcare to other people in other continents, why not start? Because there is a saying that said that charity begins at home. Why not start giving Americans affordable healthcare? Why can't you start giving them easy access to healthcare before you extend it to other countries of the world? Take care of your people first. Let America come first. Americans first, since you claim that in Trump administration that Trump prefer to take care of other people in other continents more than Americans, because you guys are generous people, because you people cares about human life. And when you forgot so soon that you're supposed to start from your home, charity, they say, begins at home. So at this moment, guys, Magas will always find a reason to back up their claims in order to keep on supporting Donald Trump. And guys, in this video, you are going to see a whole lot of videos, people who are really pained over the hardship ongoing in America based on the fact that people could no longer access easy healthcare without paying through their nose, without breaking their banks, while Europeans are really enjoying it. A very free and accessible healthcare. So guys, keep on watching. Let's go more in detail.
Healthcare in Europe is so much better than it is in America. When I was growing up in Texas, all the way back in 2008, I knew a guy whose mom was in the hospital because she had cancer. And not only was she in the hospital, she was in the ICU. Can you guess how much it costs every day to keep her there? Keep in mind, this was 2008, and think about the amount of inflation we've had since then. 3, 2, 1, $20,000 a day. $20,000 a day in the ICU for cancer treatment. I moved to the Czech Republic in 2015 and had my first hospital trip ever. You might have heard some of the discussion or the debate on social media about the COVID vaccine causing, what was it called again? Myocarditis. It's an inflammation of one of the inner walls of the heart. It happens to men in their mid-20s right after a viral infection getting sick. I'm I was 26 years old, and I had just contracted a virus that had been going around the English camp I was teaching at. The nurse at the camp called an ambulance, which drove me to a hospital about an hour away because they specialized in heart treatment. I had a fairly serious operation where they put a camera through the main vein of my leg to inspect the inside of my heart to make sure it wasn't a heart attack. Myocarditis imitates a heart attack, by the way. That's why they did this. I was having shooting pains down to my right elbow. Maybe it was the left. I don't remember which one's a heart attack. After that, they wrapped me up, put me in an ICU for 3 days. They kept me in the general ward for 2 weeks, gave me all my meals, kept me alive, helped me recover. Gave me a little iPad too, where I discovered One Direction because my English assistant was singing it all week at the check camp. After I got out of the hospital, they gave me the bill. My parents were like, "How much was it?" I said $40,000. And they were like, "Oh," I remember their faces falling. They were like, "Well, we can take out a loan. We can pay for this somehow." I said, "Oh, no. 40,000 Czech crowns. It's about $2,000. The ambulance ride alone would have been $2,000 in America. And it's not just unique to the Czech Republic. It's obviously like that all across the continent. Pretty unapologetic about this because the healthcare system in America bankrupts its citizens, makes them insolvent. Come at me if you want, but I think it's pretty clear which one's better.
Healthcare system in America bankrupts their citizens. He prefers that of Europe. Guys, keep on watching.
Don't you find it concerning that every time someone posts a video about universal health care, the comment section is full of all of these MAGA Republicans talking about how nothing's free, somebody's got to pay for it? Well, no kidding. You see, the idea of universal health care is that we all are paying for it. It's no different than your health care plan through your employer. You see, the more people who are enrolled in a plan, the cheaper that insurance becomes. Now, can you imagine with everybody in the country paying just a little bit towards universal health care? Well, then the insurance costs are cheaper because so many people are enrolled. It's like a big giant cafeteria plan with 300 plus million people in it. You see, the idea of universal health care should be right at the top of the list for every MAGA Republican. If you live in a red, low-income state, it benefits you greatly. I want universal health care because I want everybody to be covered. One of the main reasons that poorer states have such a drop-off in life expectancy is because a vast majority of the public don't have access to preventative medicine. Well, this eliminates that, so you're able to get your yearly checkups. Universal health care works for everyone.
It is so easy for Donald Trump to fund war instead of him using that money to invest in healthcare system in America. Americans are breaking their banks to access medical care, whereas there is money to fund wars. Whereas there is money to fund wars to go and end the life of innocent children. And MAGAs have seen nothing wrong with that. They are clapping for Donald Trump. They are saying that nothing should be free, while many Americans are agitating for free medical care, for easy access to medical care without breaking your banks. At the moment, there are a whole lot of controversy going on in America between MAGAs and normal people in America because for you to be a Trump supporter, you are not normal. You can't be normal to be a Trump supporter, obviously. Because how can you tell me that it will be very easy for your president to fund wars instead of using that same money to fund the medical care of his citizens? He preferred to spend that money on wars instead of taking care of people. Imagine cutting healthcare system from people who have free access to healthcare. Imagine the disabled suffering under Trump administration. Imagine the children out of school under Trump administration. Guys, a whole lot is going on. What is your own take? As many Americans are coming to agitate for the fact that they need a free access to medical care. And many MAGAs are saying, oh, nothing should be free. A whole lot is going on, guys. What is your own take? Share with us your own view at the comment section. Don't forget, for more interesting and amazing updates coming from my channel, please do well to subscribe and turn on your bell notification. God bless you guys for watching, and bye for now.